What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show, Beef Stew Radio. It's your man DJ Big Stew with my co-host. You know who it is, the Kappa in the building.
Yes, sir. The man with a million names.
We at the Harlem Block Party at the WeWork building. You know what I mean? Today's an event that all the new companies are out here today showing their services, showing what they can do. You know what I mean? Showing how they can help you and showing their products. We're here today just filming. You know, we decided to come here today and stream our show live. Maybe have some people come to the table, talk about what they do and what they bring to the table. So, what you thinking?
Yeah, nah, this is a good atmosphere, man. You know, everybody's networking, and that's the key, man. For anybody, any of y'all doing business, if y'all don't know, I need to know networking.
Now I'm gonna ask you, because you know you're a good business guy. I wanna ask you some business questions, if you don't mind.
I hope I can answer them, man.
No, you're a good businessman. When you first started your business, Cap, right? What was the first step that you took when you first opened up your business?
Well, I mean, what was the first step? I mean, it always starts with the inception of an idea. Once you got an idea you're passionate about, that's the number one thing. As soon as you have something and you really feel it, the next step is to strategize what it is that you want to do and how you want to do it. And the third step, before you tell anybody about it, is then you go to incorporate and protect your idea, protect your company, incorporate, copyright, whatever those steps are, depending on what type of service or thing that you're doing. I was doing entertainment, so I went and had a guy actually put the business together, do the business paperwork for me. You could do it online, but I mean, I didn't feel that I was gonna catch everything. You know, it's actually just to go back a little to tell you a story. My group Stronghold, when we did Stronghold, you know, we were putting out records. We were doing good independently, you know, hand to hand, and we had some stuff in the stores. But then there was a company called Stronghold Records in Florida, and people were confusing us. Saying, yo, are you the same guys from Florida? And of course, everybody think they're the best, so we listening to them like. So we got bold. We sent them a cease and desist letter. We didn't even have a company. But, you know, they ignored it. So what we did was we took measures to start Stronghold Records ourselves. And we realized we can exist as Stronghold Records in New York. It didn't infringe on Florida. So now we were protected as a company in New York. But we rushed it, we did it online, didn't understand the paperwork, didn't know how to go about taxes or anything. So, as you can imagine, we got hit hard by the IRS. They tore us up.
Taxes, you know, taxes, you know, one thing about when you incorporate a lot of guys, especially guys that's from the street, they're not used to paying taxes. They're used to just doing stuff, you know, and then at the end of the year, oh, yeah, I'm going to write it off and think they don't got to pay no taxes on it. Can you explain that, paying taxes? Because I know you paid taxes before, right?
Oh, yeah. So, I always. Get me on here saying I don't pay taxes, man. What you trying to do to me?
No. I'm talking about, well, I want you to explain to them about company tax. No, before you even do that, because the reason why I'm picking your brain, because this is the guy who taught me a lot about businesses and incorporating stuff like that. So I'm picking his brain on camera now while we at this business seminar. You know what I'm saying? What I want to ask you is, name the three, you know, the different corporations that somebody can form their corporation in.
Oh, so what's that? Well, you got LLC, limited liability. Then you have S Corp, and you have a C Corp. I hope you're not quizzing me on all the nuances and differences between them all, because right now I can't remember. But limited liability, though, is when you want to have a few partners. There's good and bad with each one of them. You really have to figure out what your company is and decide which one fits. Like when I did P- Media, I chose an S Corp. I had one partner at the time who unfortunately backed out on me. Luckily, what I found was that with an S Corp, I can actually be the 100% shareholder of the S Corp and not receive any penalties. When we did Stronghold Records, which was in the late '90s, you had to have four people. You had to, or you didn't have a corporation. That changed. I don't know why, but I was glad it happened because I was able to not be left dry by not having a full company of people. So I did 100% the shares on my own.
Now, what would you say was the hardest thing about when you first started your company, when you first stepped up to be a company? What would you say was the hardest thing for you?
I think the hardest thing really is finding your customer. You know, finding your customer. Like, it sounds easy, but you really have to do like probing and testing. Like, of course, PS Media is an entertainment company, and you know, bless YouTube, I already had an audience before I started the company. Full disclosure, I started PS Media because first we were doing P-Dash News with the character I had, Raheem Drinkwater. The show got popular. They ended up showing some of it on MTV. Subsequently, back then, if you get like 100,000 views, people were looking for you right away. Now your numbers got to be a little bigger. But what happened is Overbrook, Will Smith's company, they sought us out. So I was like, well, I didn't want to come to them naked. So I figured I'd fortify myself with a corporation. I knew we would get a bite. I knew it would be a year. I didn't know what to expect, so I didn't really think of starting a company. So it really was like a real quick snap decision, like hurry up, let's put this corporation together. But unfortunately, my partner, we didn't really see eye to eye with him. Not even on an argument tip. It just was, that's an important thing. Understand your partner and know what each other wants and what each one forecasts for the future. That way you know you're not on a different page, because sometimes you'll end up arguing with somebody who's your friend and then you guys end up not being friends because you don't understand what each other wants. You know, and that's when everyone has to be upfront about what you want, what your expectations are. You know, not, oh, we'll just see what happens. That's in the very beginning, but once you're ready to sign some paperwork, you better be clear and open with your partner for exactly what you want. Then you won't have problems and breakups.
Now, explain to cats what are the 4 officers that you have to have. Because you have to have, like you just said about the 4 officers. Can you tell us the 4 titles that you have to have?
Can't remember.
Well, I'm going to tell you for him, since he can't remember.
Let's
all
defer.
right? We would say president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary.
There you go.
Now, treasurer, you better make sure whoever's your treasurer, because sometimes people make a person a treasurer that's not a treasurer. That's not.
Just somebody that saved more money than everybody else, so they make them the treasurer.
I think if you really take your company seriously, when you take it, the treasurer should have at least math skills. You know what I'm saying? At least some type of banking skills or some type of stuff that can help you with that. You know what I mean? To help your company move forward.
Know what those numbers mean.
Know what the numbers means. Know what the tax brackets means. You know what I mean? Know the certain tax codes. I think that's what you should make your treasurer have. The president, it could be different people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the president ain't the person who started the company.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at some of these major corporations.
Exactly. Sometimes the president is the person who would just better operate. And I think that's who should it always be, because it was a situation, tell you a story. When we did something a long time ago, we had presidents and vice presidents and all that. And titles, titles meant something to people, but we didn't really know who should have had what title. And when you look at it, some people, maybe some people that was considered to be president might have been better off being treasurer, because they was more better with controlling the money and banking for us. Then maybe some people, the president, I feel, is the leader. I feel he's the one that opens the doors. He's the ones that knock down
the face.
The face, and he's the brand. So sometimes people can make a mistake with that. Especially when it's friends. Now, we basically talking to you about a company that we talking to friends who create a company. Not everybody that's already known. We're throwing this show out to all the friends who be saying, all right, this is my boy, he been my friend for a long time, we want to incorporate.
If you think about it, most companies, that's how it started.
Yep.
2 friends, high school buddies, college buddies, childhood friends.
But you always got to make sure you both know business.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you end up in a situation like when we, one of my favorite rap groups of all time, EPMD. When you look at their story,
Yeah.
One knew the business, he kept the business going, and one kind of just was rolling with we the stars, we rocking, and I want to just make the music. but it's behind everything there's business. Even behind the podcast, there's business. Behind music, there's business. Even with the basketball tournament, there's business.
You know the irony of EPMD was all of their album titles had business in it.
Exactly.
And go figure. But they rocking together again now.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, they got past all that.
I think, and see, that's one of them dynasties that if they didn't go through that, they would have been bigger than Death Row, I think.
Yeah.
They would have been.
Everybody wanted to get down.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody wanted to be his squad.
Everybody wanted to roll with them. They could have took any artist at the time, you know what I mean? But for some reason, and artists, I don't know, you know, I seen Chief Murray recently. Now my heart was kind of hurt.
Yeah.
I feel like he should be a little bit more than he's at.
Yeah, so it's like a little like under appreciated or under.
Yeah, you know, Keith Murray was one of the best lyricists.
Like you feel he should be in a better space.
A better space. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, I feel that he should get a lot more respect in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they start going back to old school rappers. Keith Murray was a lyrical beast at one time.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what it is? It was so like even today, but there's so many artists, man. Like you kind of pick the biggest, like the biggest artists always just carry over in everybody's mention.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sometimes people just end up because if you look at that crew, Keith Murray is dope, but there's a hierarchy. Like you'll have EPMD, you'll have Redman, then you'll have Das Effects, then I don't know, maybe K Soul and Keith Murray are interchangeable.
Would you say that Keith Murray had, I mean, well, the worst career out of everybody? Anything? Who would you say was the most successful? Let's take away Eric Sherman, take away Paris. Don't neither one of them two. All they proteges.
Yeah.
Who would you say had the best career? Who turned out the best? I would say
That's
Redman.
Easy. Yeah, Redman. That's easy. I mean, he just put out a song 3 weeks ago.
He did a new song with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, we did it on the album.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the song just came out 3 weeks ago.
All right. Okay.
He's still working. The song is dope. We gotta play it.
Yeah, well, we'll make sure you get it to me so we can play it. Because, you know, Kappa he be holding joints on the low, you know what I'm saying? When I get new music, especially when I get one of them joints that's hard to get, I play it. Kappa, I got to fill out a job application, put my fingerprints on it, give him my driver's license, everything before I can play the song on the show. Now, who would you say was the worst cats that handled their business, in your opinion?
That's hard for me to say because I don't really know. No, but I don't really know.
I mean, out of the ones that's famous, that ones that we would figure that got famous and got unfamous. Let's take Hammer.
Well,
Hammer's
did he get
good now.
unfamous or did he just mess up his money?
He messed up his money, but he's paid now.
But I think he's a classic example of a good heart gone wrong. Like he made sure everybody was good. I mean, the gold waterfall thing was extra, but for the most part, from what I heard, he was taking care of his crew, his entourage, like everybody eating well. Mm-hmm. And I don't know the full story, but I think some of those people either didn't return the favor or were unable to, because sometimes when you depend on the one person feeding and they didn't learn how to fend for themselves, maybe they couldn't help him back. Because maybe they just, like, you could be giving money and still living on your last, even though someone's just handing you more dough than you should get.
Do you think Bobby Brown handled his business?
Again, that's hard to say. I mean, I know he got paper, but I think
the movie didn't look like he handled his business though. The movie, he was basically at one point, bro was broke, man. Bro, family was getting ready to lose the crib, man. You know, bro, when you got a platinum album, it really shouldn't be no reason.
But what was his cut? You know what I'm saying? That could have happened in the beginning, because you know, man, them labels are shady. But people are shady.
But let's take this. He already got jerked with New Edition, remember? So he already knew when he came back around, he was smarter. Because he got jerked with New Edition, they kicked him out the group, he went to do a solo, so he knew he had to get more than what he was getting. And when they all got jerked that time, when they fired the uncle, Ronnie's uncle. So they all got, you know what I'm saying, by the time he went dolo, he was good. Because he was seeing some money.
But he could have been just getting less jerked.
Yeah, but he was a millionaire though. He was a millionaire. They said he was a millionaire.
Yeah.
Do you think?
But is that a mismanagement of business or mismanagement of personal funds and assets gained from the business? He might have did the business right, but just didn't handle his money right after.
They really didn't show him doing no real business. Like he should have had Bobby Brown records. He had enough back then. He could have did it. Teddy Riley did it. You know what I'm saying? He could have did it back then.
Yeah.
He had the lane to do it. He had the lane to start BJ Records, whatever. Anybody would have signed to him back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He could have signed a New Edition member. He probably signed Ralph or somebody right then and probably kicked off. I just think that he didn't make the right. He didn't even have no business really, like he was.
Yeah, but he was pure artist.
He's pure artist and selling crack. You know, I mean, let's keep it real. He was reeing up. Yeah. He had work in the suitcase. He had work. Even when he had that bond, right? He had a suitcase full of work.
Yeah, but that makes me go back to what the deal was. I don't know what the deal was. Like, if you feel you got to do that still, like, how well are you eating? You know what I'm saying?
Let's take Ricky DeVoe, real estate agent, successful real estate agent.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. They all had the lane because they were splitting it even. It depends on what you was doing with your money. It seemed like everybody in the crew, except for Ricky, was getting high. They did not, when you look at the joint, Ricky didn't get high at all. They didn't show him, might have smoked a blunt. They showed him smoking a blunt. But, I was really shocked that, not Ricky, Ronnie was, they showed him smoking a blunt. Ricky was he was the one getting high more than Bobby Brown, which was shocking.
Yeah.
Because when you look at them, you always thought he was a goody. Tell me you didn't think he was a goody. You looked at him to be a bad
boy. Yeah. Well, when they first came out, I only thought Bobby Brown
was the bad boy.
Was the bad one.
He
you find out later.
And he wasn't so bad.
Something about that leather jacket in the first video.
But when you look at him, he wasn't so bad. I feel sorry for Bobby Brown in a sense. I know you want the last show, you want to talk about him, but I want to talk about I feel bad for him because he gets a bad rap for a lot of stuff, man. And when you see the story, man, it was kind of like he was being a good husband, you know what I mean? Like, in all sense of the word, he was trying to be a good husband.
And I've heard, like, both sides, but you know how that is. Everybody's going to put their best side out there. I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Heard things, but we don't really know. I don't,
a lot of things I heard.
But the way they were acting toward each other, that doesn't seem like either one was treating each other bad. I just think they got caught up with the
Now they had crackhead love, man. That crackhead love is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Crackhead love's forever.
Crackhead love is crazy. That love be like they fight, argue. Like you see crackheads argue in the street. One dude to throw all her clothes out the back of the street. She'll pick all her clothes back up, put it back on him. You ain't leaving me, and be following him right up the block. And he do the same thing, And I'm gonna tell you about crackhead love. Crackhead love is crazy. The woman to sell her body, right? She'll wait, mad with her and everything, but to go smoke the crack.
That prize comes.
The prize. Yeah, I've seen them do that. I've seen them be like mad with each other. What you doing with him? Hurry up! Hurry. She go do it for him, vice versa. Me and Keisha actually know two crackheads where we live at. That's like that. They have. He do his things, he do their thing. They be waiting on each other, arguing with each other, fight each other, mad with each other. But then you always see the other one walking up the block, following. With the dinner. You better wait for me. Don't you go nowhere.
Dinner package.
Throwing bottles at him while he walking. They got that strange love, man. That love is more better than, I don't know, man. They could last, just think about it. How many neighborhood crackers you seen marriage last longer than regular people? They've been married homeless on the street for 20 years. Just think about it. I don't know, man. But what you about ready to write?
No, let's keep going, man.
Because who knows with this guy, But I'm just saying, it's just something that I noticed. I've seen it. I know a couple that they've been on the street. They've been through thick, through thin. She done stabbed him. He done stabbed her. this, and you know. But back to the business. Business 101, crackhead.
This is the trajectory of this wonderful show we have. We went from Business 101, and you see the timeline takes us all the way over to Crackhead 101. Just to show
let
you.
me tell you something, because crackheads are big business.
This is a full fortified show. We give you everything.
Everything. We talk about everything. We didn't
From
talk
B-
about Donald
from
Trump
B to
today,
C.
though. We didn't say nothing about the president
that
today.
guy.
Let me ask you something. Do you know that I think it's going down? I think he's going to be indicted right now, man. They got another person coming out. I mean, how many people have to come out for this guy to be caught? They got another person.
Under the jail. Yeah, in case y'all didn't hear what Keisha said, she feels Obama would have been under the jail.
So would George Bush probably been. Bush might have been under the jail.
Clinton,
you know, Clinton, everybody. It's just something different. But I think you know, they will, like I said, I think the Republican Party as we know it is over. I think everybody gonna roll with Bernie, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a Bernie. You're gonna have to be independent. Think so?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know. But you know what's funny? They got the bird on The Simpsons looking like Bernie, talking like Bernie. That baby was so mad. They have him talking like Bernie. You see, you can't be a political star because they will make a cartoon of you.
Yeah.
You think they'll make a cartoon of me and you, Chief?
Right.
What wouldn't you mind being in the cartoon? Like, what animal wouldn't you mind? This don't make me no gorilla. I would get offensive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
They make you a gorilla?
The strong one.
The strong one?
If I'm tearing up stuff, yeah, I'll go with that.
So
if
they,
some kind of
if they were to call you the strongest gorilla in the jungle, you wouldn't be mad. Wouldn't you been mad? Huh? You would have been mad.
Depends on what jungle you talking about.
Nah, I'm just joking. Now, what you think about that shirt? Now, the lady got a check. Now, this is business.
Okay.
This is back to business. Little kid wore the shirt, strongest monkey in the jungle, right?
Was it strongest?
Oh, happiest monkey in the jungle, right?
So I can't remember
Something in the jungle. Tastier monkey. African American. Target shirt. Remember that?
Yeah.
Cameron?
What's the H&M?
H&M? Wear one of them. I want to get your opinion. So, yeah, I always ask you your stuff. I don't know where you go sometimes, but I want to know. Would you have took the check like his mom did, or would you stood up with your pride?
Well,
if it was your child.
Well, she said she didn't see it. I don't believe her.
She didn't see it. She got a check. They ended up, after everything went on, they gave her $1 million. They Puffy actually signed him to a $1 million check.
But that's after.
But you know, after he took all of, but she never turned the account down. She had to see it.
No, but she said they had random. Like she didn't know what he was gonna have on. So she didn't know what to say. But she defended it. That was a problem. Once you defend it, then it sounds like you okayed the whole thing.
So hold on. So she wasn't there when they were taking the pictures? He's a little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he probably tried on it, but you could have seen the shirt. Like, you got to be standing there, but let him go in the room and get pictures taken of him when you're not there.
No, this ain't Dudley and, and Arnold.
What's happening, right?
No, different strokes.
Different strokes, yeah.
Let me take pictures of you, and took him in the bathroom. Yeah, it's not that.
Who he took pictures of? Arnold or Dudley?
No, Dudley.
Dudley, right?
He took Dudley in the back. Dudley was never the same after that.
Do you think that they didn't make it Arnold because they think if they would have did a show like that back then, that it would have caused a lot of drama?
Well, I think because he's the star and he's the comic relief, I don't think he could have been going through something so traumatic. It wouldn't be funny anymore. You know? It's like, yeah, he's in the back, he took pictures and grabbed me in the booty. That's just not funny. But they could touch a serious topic by putting it on Dudley. And then next week they can laugh.
Mr. Rogers did that, though. Did you ever know that? Mr. Rogers, the show Mr. Rogers, he challenged a lot of things that shows didn't challenge back in the day. He talked about divorce. He had a show where he's saying, "Oh, your parents, they just got mad with each other, and but he actually told the kids about divorce." I was watching Mr. Rogers' documentary, and it's deep when you look at it. Mr. Rogers touched up on a lot of subjects for kids, but divorce, being touched, if a stranger touches you, all that stuff. He touched all that stuff, but he did it in a different way. But he was for the times, they considered him a radical show. Yeah. Now we look at it like we laugh at him and everything, but for the times, Mr. Rogers was a radical show. They was mad with him.
So he was like, "Hey friends," he said, "Hey friends." When you, Keisha said it's creepy, but he was like, "Hey friends, when you come into your mom and pop's room and you see in the room you see those little white hard things that just keep in mind that that's not when water got into the sugar dish and it gets the little balls. Don't touch those white rocks, my friends. Those aren't for you." Crackhead 101.
But it's the truth. Mr. Rogers, when you go back and look at all the Mr. Rogers shows, if you can go to YouTube, you guys, go to YouTube, check out Mr. Rogers' show. He's dealing with so many topics like death, when a family member dies. He's dealing with a lot of topics that was not normal for back in the day for people to talk with kids, and he touched up on it. In a different way, though, but we didn't know it, though. It threw one right over our head, but the networks did.
I still don't know why they named the guy Mr. McFeely. That just didn't fit right to be on a kid's show. And
that's the thing. Back then, he put an African American on this show. Even though he was the mailman or the milkman, whatever it was, right? They did not. It was at a time when Mr. Rogers came on. When there was a time when you couldn't even share. His show first started airing when you was drinking because it was separation of water. You couldn't drink water out the same water fountain. And there was like a lot of things where you couldn't do. That's why he put the mailman on his show. The show, you know what I mean?
His show was out that far back?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was at a time
during segregation?
I mean, well, I think like the late 60s or some, late 60s, it still had, in the South, remember, the segregation was still in the 70s, 72.
Even though it was gone, they were still trying to keep it up.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like when it was Bull Connor. But I'm saying, in the early 70s, it still was some places segregated, you know what I'm saying? And he was doing it, and they still didn't want you to use bathrooms or certain things. Well, anyway, we just wanted to shoot up in the air, man. We about ready to get up out of here.
68 it came out.
68.
So it was done. It's just, still, they didn't really want black
people
on TV like that. They wasn't enforcing it.
Even when the law came, there was still some states that still up to the 70s that had to get it enforced, the segregation.
Well, I mean, they practiced it, but there was no fountains that said whites only anymore. It was illegal.
Yeah. But they still, when you went to that town.
They still wanted to get at you. Yeah. Don't drink at my fountain.
But a lot of stuff, but if you look at it, when you get a chance, just look at it. He had a lot of things like that, man. He opened doors, he did little things like that. And the mailman was when it wasn't too many people on television, you know what I mean? It wasn't too many, when he put the mailman on his show, there wasn't too many African Americans on television with kids and education. Mm-hmm. And Sesame Street came, a little bit afterwards.
Yeah.
But, he broke a lot of barriers, Mr. Rogers.
So, Business 101, EPMD, Bobby Brown, Crackhead 101.
But EPMD, Bobby Brown, all that equal up to business, because see, we are entertainers.
No, but I'm trying to figure something out. This is the challenge for everybody out there. So you're gonna add us with on IG. Do Beast do 10. Take all of those. Take Business 101, Crackhead 101, EPMD, Bobby Brown, Mr. Rogers, and put that in a complete sentence for us. And the best one, we'll post it and we'll talk about it in the next show. See what you can do with that.
I want to thank.
I'm just.
See what you can do with it. I know I'm kind of strange, but my cousin's even stranger. So that's why we family. You know what I'm saying? That's why the show turns out so well. You know what I'm saying? But it was a good day. We were out here networking with a lot of companies today. You know what I'm saying? We told y'all a little bit. Cap, I picked his little brain. I picked his brain a little bit about business and took him off to Crackhead 101. You know, I always got a joke with him. But make sure y'all tune in, all right? Listen to us later on tonight. We're going to be on the air later on tonight. You can hear us on Stitcher. You can hear us on iHeartRadio. You can hear us on TuneIn. But always, you can go to StirrupThePot.live if you missed the show and catch every show, whether it's audio or television. Follow us at Beef Stew Radio, capital letters 11. Follow us on Instagram at Beef Stew 110. Follow me on Facebook.com/DJ Big Stew, Facebook.com/KevStew. Make sure you check out our wine, Cellar 125, our wine club. All right. Make sure Cellar 125 Wine Club. Make sure y'all try our wines, man. Come through, man. You know what I'm saying? Come through our events. Beef Stew Radio, we here. We live in Harlem. This is our home. That's one shutting down. Yeah. As you can see, some of the companies left behind us. But we're going to go chill, man. We're going to go have a great time. I want to thank y'all for all tuning in, man. And just keep supporting, man. Keep supporting. Got anything to say, brother?
I would like to just tell all the beautiful people out there in the world to make sure that your socks are clean, your underwear is streakless, and you show no weakness. Peace and love.
And Miss Kim, while we shut the thing down, can you please get me one more of them ice creams? Do you mind doing that for me, sister? Thank you. You're on live. You're on the air. They're watching you. Millions of people are watching you right now. All right. Once again, Beef Stew Radio. Listen to us later on. We did the television show early, but listen to us later on. All right. We in the building. We out.
Peace, peace.
Let's see if I can cancel it real quick.